Hi guys, I'm back again today with another video, and today we're checking out. I traveled around the Netherlands. These things shocked me. Well, guys, I'm not sure if when is the next time I can upload. It could be 2 weeks. Sorry. But click the notification bell button so that when I come back, you know that I'm back because you'll get a notification. But I'll try to upload one more before I leave, okay? I'll try to upload one more. Maybe Monday, Tuesday, somewhere there. Yeah, maybe Monday or Tuesday. But anyways, beautiful people, let's go straight into the video. Let's get it.
Guys, JPS back for another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about some of the biggest cultural shocks I got from visiting the Netherlands for the first time this past summer. If you haven't already, make sure you go watch my Netherlands vlogs. Those are going to be some of the most recent videos on my channel at this point. I had an amazing time visiting this small, beautiful country. And that's actually the first cultural shock that I want to start out with is the size of this country, bro. You can travel from the opposite end of the Netherlands to the opposite end, north to south, and it will take longer to travel through a state in the United States, just a singular state, and possibly double or even triple the time if we're talking about one of our bigger states. So that is just such a big shock. The fact that I can go Amsterdam to Utrecht and I'm there like 35 minutes on the train. The fact that I'm going Amsterdam to Haarlem and I'm there 10 minutes on the train, that just blows my mind. And it's not like I'm just visiting, a neighboring city. Like these are completely different places. If you compare Amsterdam and Haarlem, it's literally a night and day difference. And that's from someone visiting Netherlands for the first time. So the differences would be even more apparent if I had spent more time there. This proximity between cities is super nice and convenient, and it makes it very easy to travel. And also, when you're traveling, use the public transportation, which is going to be my next point, the public transportation in the Netherlands. Guys, I was more than impressed with the public transportation. I thought that the no contact payment, you literally just tap your card when you're going in and tap your card when you're going out. You can definitely buy a train ticket or some type of pass, and that works just fine. But that convenience, coming off the flight and I don't have to think about how I'm going to get on the train. I literally just tap it. It's so much easier than using the metro system here in Washington, D.C. It's a complete pain. You have to go on this outdated system to try and purchase a ticket. There's no tap and pay like that. It's not that simple. So everything was very new. Like all of the technology and things, everything felt very developed, up to date, well taken care of. I don't think a single train was late, and if it was never worth noticing or really mentioning. Like everything was very punctual, not just with the trains, but just how Dutch society moves, of course. And that's something I really appreciated because I'm someone who always likes to be on time and get to where I want to be. So it was very easy to do that when I was traveling throughout the Netherlands. Of course, when you didn't have public transportation, the best way to get around most cities was just to walk. It was literally faster to walk, maybe from one point of a city to another, and a pretty significant walk too. Like we're talking 15 to 20 minutes, than it was to take a car, because the society in Netherlands is meant for walking. It's meant for biking. It's not meant for cars, really. I mean, there's cars, of course, and I'm not saying that you can't have a car there, but it's really not necessary. Like I don't if I lived in the Netherlands, I don't know if I would need a car at all. Like I don't even know if it would be a consideration because there's just the public transportation infrastructure is so well planned out and it's just so extensive throughout the country. You can really get anywhere on a bike for sure. And then also walking is not too bad. And of course, the trains, the trams, the boats, there's just a million ways to get around. Another thing I really enjoyed about my Dutch experience was the cafe culture. Before this
Oh.
trip, I was not a coffee person. It gets me too hyper anxious. I'm always jittering around, but on this trip I gave it a try because I was like, where am I going to use the bathroom? And cafe is a great place to plop down for, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever the case is. Take a little break from the day, use the bathroom, get some water, all those things. It's really an all in one. And I had never really understood the cafe culture. I never understood why chairs lined the street and people just sat there.
Yeah, I feel like that is a very American concern. Because we also had this issue over here wherein this guy, I don't even think he's American, so sorry about that. I don't know where he's from. He's not European. He could be, to be honest. Um, oh, I think he probably is like Irish, English, if not American. But I don't think it's like, oh well, like somewhere. But I don't think it's like Central. Can I say that Europe? But anyways, so this guy vlogs, and he was vlogging about the fact that like there's so many students or people at the cafe on their laptops, and that is like the culture here. Is like you go there to just like chill with your friends, do your homework, or do work if you don't want to like work at home, right? If you don't want to like sit home and just be typing, you go to a cafe, just relax for a couple of hours, and then you go back home. But it was like he was pissed about that fact. So he got really like canceled in the Philippines because he comes here and is like almost insulting the culture rather than just maybe question it or embrace it. I mean, we're not asking people to come here and then just embrace the culture, but like if you go to a foreign country, you cannot question. I mean, you can question it, but not in a rude way. He did it in a rude way. You cannot just go to a country and then just be like, why are people doing this? Like, you shouldn't be doing this, right? It is their country in the first place. So, as a foreign person, be like, hey, why do you think people do this? Instead of like, why are you doing this? Like, you shouldn't be doing this. It's it's insulting, right? So, as much as possible, if I go somewhere, I don't want to offend the people because it's not my place, right? I don't want to be kicked out of a country. So it's fascinating to me how some other places don't have that cafe culture. Let me know in Europe though, like or Netherlands, as we're speaking of it right now. Do people work in the cafes as well? Like, do they have their laptops and they're like typing away? Is that something that people do as well? Not just sit down and relax and chit chat, but do they also work on their laptops?
The cafe culture, I never understood why chairs lined the street and people just sat there with their little cups and watching life as it goes on. But now that I've done it a few times and gone to a bunch of different cafes in the Netherlands, I really love it. And cafes are not the same here in the United States at all. I really appreciated just taking a nice little break from the day. It's a great place to socialize, have a conversation with someone, and also to get a cup of coffee. I did like the coffee. I was getting lots of shots of espresso. But I think the coffee culture and cafe culture in the United States is quite different. We're much more of a to-go based culture. So it's like, you run into Starbucks or you run into Dunkin' Donuts. And of course, these are chains that I'm mentioning. A lot of the cafes that I went to in the Netherlands were local businesses, which I
By the way, I'm not saying we don't, some people don't go there and chit chat, sit down and just like enjoy life and talk to their friends or watch people. But let's say 60% of the time you will see a lot of laptops. That's why. And then the 40% is just like regular people just talking.
chains that I'm mentioning, a lot of the cafes that I went to in the Netherlands were local businesses, which I appreciated a ton. Because why the hell do I want to support Starbucks? Like, let me just get like, and also a lot of the coffees in the United States are really just sugar, like mocha, frappuccino, cappuccino, latte. Like, bro, that has 40 grams of sugar in it. It's literally just a bunch of syrup drizzled on some whipped cream on top of a high fructose corn syrup mixed with water inside of like a 2 cent plastic cup, and that's $6. Quality, right? Huge difference. Cafe culture in the Netherlands, I loved it. I'm somewhat of a tall person, at least I thought I was. I say I'm 6'2", I'm close, I'm on the fringe of that. But in the Netherlands, I was average at best. Like, there are just absolute monsters. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. I'm not
Giants.
saying monsters like that, but people are really tall, like ridiculously tall. Like, I'll see someone riding a bike and they're just
I guess maybe the people in the Netherlands were just first in line when God was giving height, right? Like I told you in this, I don't know if it's this channel, but I have 1 million channels. I don't even remember where I say stuff. Um, that's why I don't post often as well because I have a bazillion channel, so I cannot keep up. But anyways, yeah, I feel like maybe the Netherlands was first in line when God was giving height, right? They were just there. They were like me, and I was just not anywhere to be found. Like I didn't get height, I didn't get vocals, I didn't get breasticles, I didn't get brain, to be honest, and I don't know what line I was in. Maybe face. I don't know. Maybe I was getting the no, I'm just kidding. But I probably was in line for laziness. I think the people no, there wasn't even a line for laziness because us lazy people were just chilling under a tree when God was giving all the traits, right? We were just chilling under the tree. We're like, nah, we'll catch up later. We'll get there when we get there. And we missed the line. We are just napping under a freaking beautiful apple tree, listening to Adam and Eve, right? Whilst the others were lining up for like height, brains, like genius, and boobs. I couldn't. I was just chilling. But yeah, I do know a lot of European people that are so tall. I'm like, why are you guys giants though? Like, relax.
really tall, like ridiculously tall. Like, I'll see someone riding a bike and they're just towering over people, even seated. So not, of course,
That's
your
so
legs are
funny.
extended on a bike, so that was kind of dumb to say. But like, people are really tall. It's just I hear that before I travel there, but actually being there and seeing how big some of these people are, crazy. The
I'm
next thing we're
I'm
gonna get into is
curious
communication and
because I've just seen like one or two or three people, and but then just to have like the whole, not the whole nation, but like just to have a lot of like n- Dutch people at the same time, then I'll be like, oh, this is crazy. But like I know that they're tall, but just to just see them all at the same time will be crazy. Maybe when I land, I'll just be like, I think I'm not in the world. Because my peripheral view, like my view already is like this, right? Once in a while I'll go here, sometimes we'll go like that, but the most of the time I'm just eye level, okay? Then when I go to Europe, I'm gonna have a stiff neck because I'm like, hello, in the other world. Like, what do you want me to stand on a stool?
so not, of course, your legs are extended on a bike, so that was kind of dumb to say. But like, people are really tall. It's just I hear that before I travel there, but actually being there and seeing how big some of these people are, crazy. The next thing we're gonna get into is communication and directness, and this is something I thought I was gonna struggle with when visiting the Netherlands. I thought I was gonna get offended. I thought that I wouldn't be able to understand, or there would be some type of miscommunication or whatever. But the truth is, this ended up being something I really enjoyed about the Dutch, is that you don't have to guess what they're thinking or what they want. They'll just tell you. And that's something I really appreciate, because in the United States, things are not that way at all. People will oftentimes say something and that's not what they mean. You have to kind of read between the lines and infer what their true intentions are, because people aren't direct here and they tend to beat around the bush, which is something I don't like about the United States, and that's just how it is over here. But I really appreciated the Dutch directness and the fact that people don't feel the need to do that. They can just say what they think and you just take it for that. You don't have to take offense to that, bro. Like, people can have differing opinions. It's fine. But here, oh my, it's a world war if something happens. Like, it's ridiculous. The next point I want to get into is the nature in the Netherlands. Oh my God, bro. I loved all of the natural beauty that the Netherlands had to offer. Of course, you're close to the seaside. There's tons of tulip fields, which I didn't get to see because it wasn't really tulip season when I was traveling there. How close you are to all that, I feel like 5 minutes out of Amsterdam, I'm already seeing farmland and things like that. That's not really something you get in the United States. If you're going to be in a city, usually you'll have to drive a decent amount just to get out in city area. Like it's just not that as easy as it is in the Netherlands. And you guys are also surrounded by all these canals. I mean, Netherlands is literally built on top of water. It's kind of an amazing engineering feat. Like the fact that you guys' country hasn't just been washed underwater. Like I read into that. It really is amazing making this possible, this country. But at the same time, that's why you guys have a housing crisis, because there's nowhere to put houses, bro. Like it's such a small country. There's so much water. But I really did appreciate all the natural beauty that the Netherlands had to offer. The canals, you know, you're just walking through city center and you see a canal coming through. There's someone going paddle boarding or whatever. There's people sitting on the side of the canal. It's like nice sunny afternoon. Like that stuff, it really does feel like heaven. Like you can't get better than that, especially in a city. Next thing we're gonna get into is the food. And I didn't say this, but it is the truth. A lot of people say that the Dutch food can be lackluster, or you guys don't have the best cuisine out of the world, which I don't agree with. And also, one mistake I really made when I was visiting Holland was not trying Indonesian food. I know you guys got really good Indonesian, and I just didn't try it. But yeah, the frikandel
Really? Oh, interesting. Why though? Like, do you have a? I know why though. Because Dutch is a colonized Indonesia. So obviously, Indonesian maybe have a lot. Like, I guess it's not hard as an Indonesian to go to the Netherlands. So maybe there's a lot of Indonesian people there and maybe even integrated by marriage. So there'll be a lot of Indonesian cuisine. I get it now. Okay, I think. But correct me in the comments. And also, I don't particularly know what Dutch people eat. So maybe we can react to like a video of like Dutch cuisine or something. I don't know. I think we've talked about it, but very, very like small. Not like sit down and really break down the cuisine of the Netherlands. So maybe we can do that in a video as well. I'll be intrigued because I don't know what you guys eat. I mean, I know you eat food, but like, what is the cuisine? What is it based on? Is it potatoes? Is it more meat? Is it like rice? Is it pasta? Right? Let me know, guys.
special and croquet, those were both really good fried foods. I will say I burned my
Okay.
mouth. Despite the warnings, you know, everyone says don't bite in right away. And what did I do? I bit in right away and burned the top of my mouth off. So, one thing I really loved was the bruges.
What's
I
that?
say bruges like I had multiple, but I would have had multiple. That stuff was good. Like,
What's that?
really good quality bread, good quality meats. Like, you can
Mm,
just tell. And
I
we
don't
don't have
know
that type
what
of
they
stuff.
are.
I mean, I've reacted to a video on this channel about why United States bread is so garbage. Like, our bread is meant to be on a shelf for over a week. It's not real bread, it's made in a laboratory. But the bread that I was getting off the side of the street, you can tell it was baked fresh. All of their ingredients are fresh. And this is just cheap stuff, too. This is not
I think God knew to not put me in Europe or anywhere close because they knew that this girl was gonna eat all the bread and cheese. Like she's a mouse, right? So they were like, "Yeah, you just stay far away from that country because like we don't know what's gonna happen to you. It's for your own sake." So that's why I'm here because I am in love. Like pastry and cheese is the love of my life. So yeah. I probably will be a rat when I go there. You just find me in the corner just nibbling on a freaking bread and cheese. Yeah, that's me. I can live like that. Yeah, fine. Like the neighborhood rat rookie. Ooh, look at that. We rhyme kind of. I mean, I would rather be that type of rat that eats bread and cheese than to be that rat. You know, the rat people out. But anyways, what are we talking about?
like I have to go to buy to some supermarket to get organic farm fresh food. Like, no, this is off the side of the street. And that Dutch standard, that quality, like the
Mm.
standard of quality, even the baseline is so high. I was thinking that way, not just when it comes to food, but also when it comes to quality of life. I thought that everyone was so happy. There was something tangible in the air about how people were feeling. You can just get that, you know? You can see, look at people. See how they're holding themselves. Do they look deflated? Do they look beat down? Do they look stressed? No. People look so happy, bro. Like, people look like they didn't have a care in the world. And obviously that's a bit of an exaggeration, but seriously, guys, like, I could really feel it, and it had a profound effect on me during my visit. How happy and content people were with life. I felt like the Dutch really took their time to enjoy the little things in life, appreciate the small things, like maybe just sitting at a canal in the afternoon, taking a break, slowing it down. And that's what you guys are really good at, is enjoying life and not getting too sucked into all this other stuff like work and the news and everything like that. I know you guys got a lot going on too, especially being around all these other countries, but I just felt people were so stress free. Of course, there's always going to be stress, but that was something that struck a chord with me, and I'm never going to forget how happy I was when I was in Holland. Just straight up. All right, guys, the next stuff we're going to get into is more about the partying culture, alcohol, and things like that. So the first thing I have to say about alcohol is it was very cheap. Alcohol in the Netherlands was stupid cheap. Like, you can get a bottle of wine for €3 easily, which is not possible in the United States. If you want to get a bottle of wine for that cheap, it's going to be like the lowest possible quality wine. Like, and it might not even be that cheap. So that immediately was a huge shock. Like, how is alcohol this cheap, you know? And it's because you guys are so close to all these other countries. Like, there is so much wine coming from France. There was so much beer. I tried some Dutch beer. It was pretty good, honestly. I liked it. But Belgian beer, like, you guys are so close to all these other countries. So it makes it very good for trade, and especially when it comes to alcohol. I know I'm thinking of trade only in that one way, but priorities, guys. What can I say? Something also interesting about the drinking is, why can't I drink in public, bro? Why in Holland am I not allowed to drink in public? Okay, yes, maybe you guys have an amendment. You can drink on terraces or whatever. But, bro, so tell me, I can go to a beer garden and then just you're sitting out on the street in their little garden or whatever, and that's okay to drink because that's basically in public. But I buy a beer from the grocery store and I go out on the street and I'm not allowed to drink that. Like, that was something I felt weird because no one else was doing it. So when I did drink in public, I was doing it in kind of hidden areas where I couldn't really do it freely, you know? Cross the border into Germany and I could just run around the street with a bottle.
German is a different story.
That's something I found really weird. How come in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam,
In
you can
the
go
US,
into
you can't
shop
even
and
drink in
basically get
public
any drug possible
either.
and just get off your mind on that? But you take a sip of alcohol out of a bottle in public, and that's not okay. Doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sorry. And I know, listen, guys, I'm holding you to a really high standard because in the United States, you can't do any of this stuff, like, whatsoever. It's out of the question. But here in Holland, I was just like, why? Why can't I drink in public, bro? The Germans have got it. What's wrong with you? You guys need to learn from them. So if someone could explain to me that in the comments, like, how come you can smoke a joint in public but you can't drink a beer?
Yeah, I'm curious also. Is it because I don't know, it looks weird or it looks not elegant drinking in public? It looks crazy. Or people get into more accidents when they're drinking in public. They get into more shenanigans, right? Out of control when they're drinking in public. But if you're like sitting down in a garden, well, that is a pub or a bar, then it's okay, or restaurant, because you're kind of like trying to hold yourself. I don't know what the science is, but let me know.
What? And then that also goes into my next thing, like the whole drugs and weed and stuff. I made a bunch of mistakes in my vlogs. I said I was going to coffee shops when in reality I was going to cafe. So that was pretty funny
What's the
hearing what you
difference?
guys had to say in the comments about that. But yeah, there were
What's
a
the
lot of
difference?
these coffee shops or whatever everywhere in Netherlands. Like, and people were smoking marijuana everywhere in Netherlands. Like, I feel like no matter where I went, it was always there to some degrees. You know, that's interesting. Currently in the United States, we're on the road to legalization. There's still some states that haven't legalized it and some that have. I don't believe it's federally legal yet. So it's just interesting seeing the way the world is moving with that. I know Netherlands has been like a hub for that for the longest, but just across the border in Germany, I think they just legalized it in April of this year. So things are changing a lot and at a rapid pace. So it's crazy. My last thing I want to talk about is just about Dutch people in general. I think that I really, really like the way that Dutch people are. Like, all the Dutch people I talked to, they were super friendly. And the biggest thing I recognize in all of them is open mind. Very open minded people, willing to engage in a conversation, willing to help out, and just good people, in my opinion. I think the Dutch are really good people. And, they get crap for being direct, or, someone steps in the bike lane and that's how you get a Dutch person mad. Do not step in their way in the bike lane. But as long as you don't do that, and you shouldn't really be doing that anyways, but as long as you don't do that, like, they are just some of the nicest people. They'll always be willing to help you out, give you directions, have a conversation. So I couldn't be happier with my visit to the Netherlands, and this will not be the last time I come over there. Like, this country left a lasting impression on me. I was only there for a week. I tried to see as much as possible. Went to a music festival in Netherlands, which was crazy as well. So make sure you guys watch that video. I had an amazing time, guys. So I really appreciate you all watching the vlogs. I definitely plan on doing some more Netherlands reactions on this channel. So for those of you who are subscribed, you're going to be getting some content. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, guys, I hope you all are doing well and have had a good summer. We're now into fall, so it's been some time since I visited the Netherlands. I've had some time to collect my thoughts, and this is just a video I wanted to put out here to kind of summarize what were some of the biggest shocks I had on this trip. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button.
Okay. That was a lot of information. It just makes me want to go to the Netherlands even more. I just like I feel like it's the way I want my life to be, or the way I want this place to be, right? It's like if you imagine a ideal place for yourself to live in, that is my ideal place, right? It sounds about right. I'm like, ooh, I feel like I belong there. But anyways, beautiful people, thank you. And yes, click the notification bell button so you know when I upload. I will try my best before I leave to post one video, and then I'll be back October 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, around those time. But anyways, beautiful people, thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.